Hi everyone, I'm Nicolas Doucet, the studio head at Team Asobi. We couldn't be happier with the reception to Astrobot and to see how much joy Astro is bringing to homes all around the world. On behalf of Team Asobi, thank you so much. Now, we still have a few surprises up our sleeves. Today's trailer was a sneak peek at a DLC we'll release later this year at no additional cost. We'll have more to share soon. But for now, let's enjoy the state of play.
Listen to me, burnt one. If you're intending to walk the midnight walk, you better be sure to keep your spark safe and burning.
While I was in the black, I had a dream. There was a monster in the woods.
And on you go, like a moth into the burning light.
Thank you.
Who took the sun away? Little soul, you charming little wanderer, where are you off to now?
And so it was that the burnt one and a small flame took a wander down the midnight walk.
I don't remember when it happened, but I remember how I felt. Father told us to hide when they came to our house. Then they took him away. Mother said I couldn't play outside anymore. Everyone had fled. She said the country was sick, but we would be okay. Mother always said monsters didn't exist. I thought they lived under my bed. We were both wrong. They live inside our heads.
My story is a tale of rules rewritten by nuclear fire.
Oh, hey, Serdar!
Have you seen Yana?
Something happened.
She's in no state to be wandering out in the metro alone. I need to go after her.
Their bodies arranged in some sort of ritual.
Please, just let Yana be all right. What was that? I keep hearing other voices on the radio.
You said there were people there.
Did you not hear any of that?
Yana, is that you?
The worm.
I'm seeing things. Hearing things. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Sometimes we need to become the thing we fear. To prevent something worse. it feel to learn the truth about the night sky tragedy? Long ago, you humans slaughtered each other until the whole world lay in ruins. And yet, you have been granted another chance in Auroria. It must be the will of your beloved mother goddess. However, I still have no trust in your kind. Prove yourself. If you survive this trial, perhaps you might become one of us.
Thanks to Pocket Pair for that new look at Pal World, an incredible open-world survival game that's launching today on the PlayStation 5 console. We have a few more games with breaking news today, starting with the return of two beloved RPGs from the original PlayStation.
Your dreams, magical thoughts, all things are real unless you dream they're not. In your dreams, love is the plot. Carried on wings of hope.
Lunar Remastered Collection brings together Lunar the Silver Star Story Complete and Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete with updated visuals, widescreen mode, and more.
Instantly we see it, the time to grow and be it, when everything is pinned on a hold.
Lunar Remastered Collection comes to PS5 and PS4 in spring 2025. 2 updates on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. First, the Radical Reptiles DLC, which adds Mondo Gecko and Mona Lisa as playable characters. And for no extra cost, a remixed in-game soundtrack featuring some amazing guest composers. Both of these updates arrive later today. And yes, you heard right. Keanu Reeves is joining Sonic X Shadow Generations as part of the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie pack. This update is inspired by scenes from the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie and arrives December 12th. The Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie pack is included in the Digital Deluxe Edition, which lets you play the game 3 days ahead of its October 25th release date.
Hello, State of Play. I'm Sakaguchi, producer of Fantasy and Neo Dimension. 手作りのジオラマを使ったファンタジアンネオディメンジョン150も作りました。そしてランダムエンカウントを貯めていっぺんに戦ったり、スキルの起動を操作したりと短式バトルにも新要素を盛り込んでいます。音楽はファイナルファンタジーシリーズで共に歩んできた植松さんです。プレイステーション5にて2024年12月5日発売、どうか皆さんにプレイしていただけたらと願っています。
We're just over a month away from the release of Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Let's check in with BioWare and Electronic Arts for an extended look at a climactic battle.
We've gotten word from the Wardens.
Have they found Gillenane?
Not yet, but they found something else worth killing. One of her blighted dragons.
Rook, you made it. Good.
Wouldn't miss it. We have unfinished business with that dragon.
We've tracked it to a ruined tower nearby.
That lair is a death trap. We need to lure her out to have any chance. So we challenge her, draw the dragon out into the open, then attack. Just you and me now.
Everyone, get ready!
Wardens! Ready ballistas! Wait for it.
Come on. Come on.
Hit the wings! Force her to land! Second detachment! Flank on the walls! Let's go!
Bring that first one down!
Vaughn! Gillenane.
Consume their flesh! Shatter their bones! Your back!
battle is already lost.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The Lake House. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept on driving.
Few know the truth. I stood with Cain and my brethren until I had the honor of surpassing my Lord. For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony.
The fate of this world was preordained in an instant.
What madness is this?
Am I so changed?
I was not prepared for what lay beyond this threshold.
The future has always been written.
Don't fight it, Raziel.
Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered arrives December 10th, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the first game's release.
You sure we can't just do the same?
Games from the original PlayStation era also inspired Fear the Spotlight from Blumhouse Games. It brings atmospheric polygonal scares to PS5 and PS4 on October 22nd.
Just go home, Viv. I'm happy here. So happy.
At last, we've returned to our ancestral land, Agaspa.
Build villages and nurture vast ecosystems in Towers of Agasba. This colorful world includes unique creatures, a peculiar cast of characters, and also allows you to invite other players to visit your island. Towers of Agasba launches into early access this November. Up next, Epic Games brings a split-screen mode to LEGO Fortnite this October. This feature enables friends and family to explore the world and build villages together while playing on the same PS5 or PS4. And in other Fortnite news, the new Fortnite Limited Edition DualSense wireless controller arrives later this year, with pre-orders starting October 3rd. Visit PlayStation blog for more details. Next, it's 1 versus 1,000 in Dynasty Warriors Origins, and Koei Tecmo Games is ready to share the release date. Let's take a look.
Guardian of Peace, you have crossed paths with men who may one day bring about order. Until then, you must adapt to the chaos and find a way to survive. So choose your path wisely. Go forth and learn what it means to be a hero.
You claim to strive for justice, but have no way to achieve it. Tearing down the system without providing an alternative is mere wanton destruction. The die has been cast. All that remains is to see this through.
Still hoping that I imagined the whole thing. It's burned into my mind.
So, Captain, what's your team been getting up to?
The Guild gave special assignments to some of the other units from the expedition, mine included.
This forest is amazing.
My fur isn't built for this kind of weather. That's causing the water currents to surge too.
This is its territory, and we're intruders.
Why don't they just put the meat down? Leave this to me! Heels inbound!
That's it. The White Wraith. It's real!
Is that what we're after? The White Wraith.
Down there. Someone's in trouble.
It seems we must do a more thorough investigation.
What is that thing? An extinct species?
You're a hunter. You've got a weapon, and you do nothing?
at me! And I'll...
皆さんこんにちは。モンスターハンターワイルズプロデューサーの杉本です。本作の発売日が2025年2月28日世界同日発売に決定いたしました。本日より順次予約を開始しますので、ぜひご予約いただければと思います。プレイステーションストアでご予約いただいた方限定の特典として、プレイステーション5でご覧いただけるデジタルミニアートブックをご用意します。9月26日の23時からはTGS2024 カプコンオンラインプログラムを放送いたします。それでは引き続きモンスターハンターワイルズの情報にご注目ください。またお会いしましょう。
Look at those chompers! Okay, trail spots aren't cheap, so let's get started. A hunter with a mysterious past and her, very heroic friends are all that stands in the way of an unspeakable evil. Join them as they explore, hunt, collect wacky outfits, and decorate their village. Nailed it. This is awesome. But wait, there's more. With the digital deluxe edition, you get this exciting blue roller thing. And snazzy costumes, like the Shadow Stalwart outfit. And this, I don't know what that is. That or that. Or why they're climbing in that cannon. But look how much fun they're having. Come and join the party in Mother's Heart. Phew, got it all in.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I forgot to mention the pre-order.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Zatani. We are so excited for everyone to get their hands on LEGO Horizon Adventures when it launches on November 14th. And Aloy has more good news on the horizon. Aloy's original adventure, Horizon Zero Dawn, is being remastered for PS5 and PC by Guerrilla and Nixes. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered includes more than 10 hours of re-recorded conversation mocap and countless graphical improvements that bring the game to the same visual fidelity as Horizon Forbidden West. This new version of Horizon Zero Dawn will arrive October 31st, and anyone who owns the original PS4 version of the game will be able to upgrade to the new PS5 version for $9.99. Visit PlayStation Blog for more details and watch the full trailer to see all the enhancements to Aloy's epic quest. New content is on the way to the action-packed world of Stellar Blade. A new photo mode lets players set up the perfect picture with your choice of poses, expressions, and filters. And Stellar Blade's original soundtrack, featuring over 180 songs from the game, is available on select streaming services starting today. But that's not all. Sci-fi worlds collide in the Stellar Blade and Nier Automata collaboration, coming to Stellar Blade later this year. Now let's talk about what's ahead for PlayStation Plus. First, your monthly games for October are WWE 2K24, Dead Space, and Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. These will be available to all PlayStation Plus members starting October 1st. Meanwhile, our library of PlayStation classics continues to grow, with 2 more fan favorites from the original PlayStation arriving later this year: Blood Omen Legacy of Kain and Capcom's Dino Crisis. Naughty Dog fans know September 26th is The Last of Us Day, and we're celebrating by adding the critically acclaimed PS5 hit The Last of Us Part 1 to the PlayStation Plus game catalog this Thursday.
Hi everyone, I'm Mark Cerny. We recently revealed the newest addition to the PlayStation 5 family, PS5 Pro, alongside several games showcasing the superior frame rates and improved graphics that the new console makes possible. With PS5 Pro, developers have access to 3 key improvements: an upgraded GPU, advanced ray tracing, and AI-driven upscaling that combine to bring developers closer to realizing their unique vision. We're excited for players to get their hands on PlayStation 5 Pro when it launches this November. But in the meantime, here's a look at some of the games that are being enhanced for the new console, including a few titles that we're revealing for the very first time today.
This is the time of our lives.
We are beyond the edge of Japan. People come north to disappear. But you are hunting. And now, every Ronin here is after you. Still think you're the hunter?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Beyond. We just got the PlayStation State of Play, and we're going to break it all down here on Beyond, IGN's PlayStation podcast. I'm your host, Akeem. Joining me to break it all down, we got Brian Altano, Jada Griffin, and Nick Limon. Welcome, Beyond.
What is going on, Beyond?
What
a show.
What a show, indeed. And we're going to break down every single bit and piece of it, but I think the main thing, the first thing we should talk about is definitely the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. Of course, that game was a smash hit when it came out, like at the height of the pandemic back in 2020 in July. And it's not called Ghost of Tsushima, Nick. It's you know how to pronounce these words properly.
Ghost of Yote. Yote.
Yeah. So what were our thoughts?
Yote is northern Japan, so like Hokkaido area. And since we are beyond Tsushima now, it makes me think like, how much of Japan are we actually going to get to explore? Like the northern Japan's very snowy, very mountainous and things like that. So yeah, really exciting setting. And it looks like our main character is a Ronin, perhaps, who can dual wield, maybe a wolf companion. It looks amazing.
Also, out 2025. I was hoping we would get to see this game sooner than later. Ghost of Tsushima, Akeem, you mentioned it. Like that was one of my save my brain from falling apart during the pandemic games. Like we were like stuck inside and being able to just like travel around these open world fields and sunsets and snows. And it was just so gorgeous, so much fun, so awesome. And then the PS5 came out. It got the sort of Monkey Island DLC, and then it got some patches and stuff like that. But mostly that game's kind of been, it's been done and dusted and kind of in, off to the side. It's a classic. It's awesome. But I kept waiting to be like, what is next from Sucker Punch? I can't wait to see what they do next on dedicated PS5 hardware and now PS5 Pro hardware. This is the kind of thing that made me immediately go, okay, now you're twisting my arm on getting a PS5 Pro. Like the shots in this trailer, especially, oh man, that one shot of the mountain was just like so cool.
It illustrates the scale. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Dude, yeah, it just immediately gave me goosebumps. Like I cannot wait for this game. This is exactly why I play video games. Games like this. Like this is what it's all about. Looked incredible.
It's also like perfect timing. It's perfect timing with this game because I did a quick search. Ghost of Tsushima takes place in 13th century Japan, whereas this looks like it's taking place in 17th century. So nearly 400 years later, and one of the big shows that came out this year was Shogun, which takes place very near the end of the Sengoku era of Japan. So we are seeing a Japan that is slowly inching towards modernization. So I think we're gonna see some like gunfire weapon, like some like black powder gunpowder and stuff like that. So if you watch Shogun and you want more of that, this looks like it's going to be in that same vein, which is very exciting.
I really liked how they did the interior sections there too, like that bar like restaurant situation there looked great. What were you saying, Jada?
Oh, I was just saying, I don't even know what to say. You guys have like covered all the great points about this game. It looks fantastic. It totally makes sense now with Nick's point about it being, basically 400 years later, while we're getting a new character. I know a lot of people were very attached to Jin Sakai, and especially, us that, love to go take a little soak in the, the little baths and just take a little bath out there and reflect on things. It'll be interesting to see how they handle that. But yeah, like the wolf looks fantastic. I can't wait to see how that works into gameplay. I think there were so many elements where in Tsushima there was dual guards you were trying to take out, and they, Jin had the ability to kind of take out multiple people quickly, but this kind of looks like they're going to give you almost like what we got with Nyx out of Star Wars Outlaws, where you can kind of split the attention and kind of do that. So like, I'm all about having those little friendly familiars, little buddies, little wolf bud that's just going to be gnawing the crap out of people. It's going to be great.
You get an attack wolf, and it will probably have its own skill tree and everything. You can train it to do cool tricks and maul people. I'm so in on that. Like, I didn't even need that element, but sure, that's icing on the cake on top of everything else. Like, God, the original, I played like half of the original game in the Kurosawa mode, and so the second we saw this black and white footage, I was like, it's back. Ghost is back. Where this is it. This is all over again. Like they nailed that film grade, that black and white, like the high contrast and everything. And then they cut to these full color shots with the blood on the snow, and the wolf comes out, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is this? Like this was one of my favorite surprises of the year by far. This was I wanted the big one more thing to be Bloodborne. It wasn't. We'll keep that summoning circle going. Especially when Mark Cerny was kind of like, all right, here's all the stuff coming to PS5 Pro. But most of this presentation today, like, didn't really mention the Pro until the last few seconds, the last few minutes, really. And then seeing this, I was like, yeah, this is going to be one of those games you're going to want the benefit of better hardware for. And it's expensive, it's pricey, doesn't come with a disk drive. I'm still annoyed about a couple of things there, but man, they're going to start to give me a couple of reasons to get that thing, aren't they?
Yep.
I mean, that shot of running through the fields with all the horses and everything, like that just looks so gorgeous. Just we're watching it fed back like non-natively how it's going to look on our consoles. Like it's going to look even better when we're playing it. Like I cannot wait. Like
and it's super evocative of like that horse shot. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the kind of opening of the game, because if you remember at the original Ghost of Tsushima, the kind of late title card is Jin riding through the like the meadow, running his hands through the crops and whatnot. And it's evoking a very similar vibe, and it looks stunning. And as Brian said, it looks like a reason to own a PS5 Pro. I'm assuming better resolution and better frame rate overall, so sign me up, because unfortunately I am a graphics snob through and through.
So then I guess Brian, I know we talked about this. I believe it was it just last week we talked about, or was it 2 weeks ago? We talked about the PS5 Pro, and I know you were on the fence. Well, you said no, you weren't going to do it. You weren't going to get it. But now with this game, and of course, coupled with the fact that they're producing a fair amount of, I guess, grayscale 30th anniversary PS5 Pros, are you going to get it now? Like, what's your stance on it now?
You can do it. You can call me out. Like I was I was on the fence on the Pro, and then the wave of nostalgia came over with the 30th anniversary PS1 colors, and I was like, man, now I'm setting a timer on my alarm on my phone to try and get that. If it doesn't happen, whatever. If it sells out, because they're only making like 12,000 of them or something stupid like that. Like, it's honestly dumb that they're not making more of those. I'm going to continue to call them out while also shaking my credit card at them.
And I got to say, while this was an impressive one more thing, I was hoping that they were actually going to reveal the pricing for that 30th anniversary as like the one more thing. Like, just drop it real quick. It's $1,200, and then just in the show.
Oh, they'll get you when
it's going to be expensive.
You're logged in a PlayStation Direct at 6 a.m. or whatever. You got your credit card information already in there, and then you just go, oh, God damn it! You push
it's gonna be one of those like reveal price at checkout. You just put it in the cart, and then when you get there, like, oh well, I'm already 80% of the way there. Guess I'll just drop this $1,200. Why not?
A little Mark Cerny's gonna pop up and be like, you didn't say the magic word. Like, it's gonna be one of those. It'll be torture. But either way, this is like, you need software to sell systems, right? You need not only stuff that people can play this November, but stuff that's going to entice them to want to buy something that is going to be future proofed. And obviously, we know that stuff is coming. But I'll be honest with you, like, a lot of this generation, as a PlayStation fan, has felt sort of repetitive. Like, there's been a couple of like bangers, and many of them have been ported to PC and like they're one of their biggest games this fall is a Horizon game that's coming to Switch, right? Like, and then we see stuff like Horizon Zero Dawn remastered, and like remastered. There was this rumor of like a Days Gone remastered, and I was like, I need to know what Sucker Punch is working on. I need the next thing. I don't want to play The Last of Us Part 2 again. I don't really need to play Days Gone or Horizon again. I'm good on those things. Bloodborne, different story, obviously, because come on, it's 9 years. It's 9 years old, and it's like sub 30 FPS. Bring that boy back. But seeing the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, one of the greatest games of the last decade, makes me so happy, and it makes me go, okay, finally a new game.
Yeah. I'm glad they showcased this. But you mentioned we are getting a few remasters. They showed off a handful of remasters. We're getting, of course, the Horizon remaster. We're getting Lunar remastered. That collection. I know, Nick, you were super excited for that one. And of course, we're getting the piece de resistance, which was already revealed in leaks, the Legacy of Kain 1 and 2 remastered, which I believe that's a bit of a blind spot for some of us here. I don't know, Jadar, have you had the privilege of
I've
playing
played
the
them.
Legacy of Kain?
The Legacy of Kain games are one of my one of the favorite franchises for my partner. So I know he's excited about it, and so I'll get to experience that joy through him watching him play it. I played a little bit of them back in the day, but it was so long ago, I don't even remember if I finished them because of how old those games are. So I'm really excited for a chance to actually go through and update my knowledge base on these games. It's sad that we're not going to get the other ones are just coming to the
Classics collection.
The Classics collection. So we're not getting all of them, but who knows? Maybe this, I would assume this is a test to where if this one does well, then the other ones will start to get remastered or remade as well. Or we'll get full-on remakes for these instead of just the remaster ports of these older ones. So
and I think those Legacy of Kain remasters are very like evocative of a different era of Sony that we haven't really seen in a long time. They came out in the era of something like Medieval, right? Which was like this, these games are third-person action platformers that you don't really see anymore. I think the last time we saw something like this was like Psychonauts 2. So it really feels like we are tapping back into an early era of gaming, and hopefully it's here to stay, because I do think that Sony's gotten a little bit stale in regards to their first party titles being, you know, your cinematic third person over the shoulder story about two people. Obviously Ghosts of Yote looks to kind of be in that same vein, but I'll give it a pass because that game looks really impressive from what we've seen so far. But to kind of bring the conversation back to the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, yeah, I'm not a huge Horizon fan, but that said, I do think it makes sense for them to remaster it despite it being really early. They have the tech for Forbidden West, which, whether you like those games or not, you got to admit it's very impressive. And the thing that Horizon Zero Dawn does not do that Forbidden West does is those dialogue cutscenes that are kind of stilted and clunky in the original game. They're very reverse shot, whereas Forbidden West kind of added a lot more cinematography and a lot of camera movement. It felt more like you were watching a movie in Forbidden West. So for them to kind of retroactively put that in Zero Dawn makes so much sense. And hey, look, it's another thing to show off how pretty your PlayStation 5 Pro looks. So I think it's an easy win for Sony.
I think it's...
No,
I think it's smart too.
No, go for it, Jay.
Go ahead. No, go, Brian.
I was going to say very quickly that this one, I think, depicts the power of what they're doing with the remaster more than some of the other recent remasters have from PlayStation specifically. Like, seeing this, I was like, okay, I'm not interested in playing this game again, maybe, but and I did love it, but damn, it looks good. Like, very, very clearly, like, there were some shots in this where I'm like, okay, they have definitely put a ton of power into this thing, and it's looking way better. Do I need to play it again? Probably not, but if you haven't played it yet, like, yes, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, what I'll say about Horizon is it's one of Sony's best-selling franchises since the PS4 generation. Like, this game moves numbers regardless of what people on the internet be like, this game is bad, I don't like this game, whatever. This game sells a lot. It is one of their more profitable, I believe, franchises Sony has been putting out. And the fact that they're going in and I think they said 10 hours worth of new mocap scenes and dialogue re-recorded, that's just going to really help sell just how great this game was when it first launched on PS4. It's going to, and even better than it's going to be even better now. There is just so much in this game, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. I don't think it's going to be a pick up and play right away for me, especially with it dropping on Halloween the same day as Dragon Age Veilguard. But it's definitely something that I will be looking to do the $10 upgrade probably next year during a down spell when there's less stuff to play. I'll be like, okay, cool. Let me re-experience this game because I haven't played it since it launched on the PS4. So it's been a minute for me.
Yeah.
That's 7 years now, I want to say, something like that. So
I suspect that $9.99 is going to be much easier to spend when your fancy new PS5 Pro is sitting there looking for something to play on it. And that's going to be like an easy, well, I already have the original game, so I might as well see what it looks like on the PS5 Pro. So I can see that kind of a like straight to consumer style. Yeah, one more thing. Here's a little cheap add-on for you.
Just so you know, Nick, usually you're looking to play something on the PS5 or consoles, not it looking for it to be played on. You kind of.
Hey man, if you're one of the lucky people who gets one of those 12,000 PS5 retro consoles, you're going to be looking for anything to play on it. I assure you.
Now, I want to talk about this remaster a little bit more, just because I feel like, well, not even just the remaster, but just with the Horizon series, I feel like it's kind of just being like we're just being thrown a lot of Horizon content. Like we're also getting a Lego Horizon game.
Yes,
Jada, you mentioned
there was a Horizon level in Astrobot, which
but Jada mentioned how profitable
franchise.
This franchise is for PlayStation. But I mean, like, I don't think. Do you really think we needed this remaster so soon? I mean, there's other games that could have gotten the remaster treatment. That are in dire need.
Yeah, I can name one.
One's coming to mind. I'm not sure what's the name. What's the name of that game, Brian?
Ape Escape.
Legacy of Kain.
Vib Ribbon.
Well, we have to hope that Bloodborne's on the it's on the assembly line.
On the long list or what? The short list? I don't know if there's a short list. But.
Yeah, the short list. Just get a couple more of these through, and then there'll be some clear runway for the Bloodborne 60 FPS 4K remaster. But
we can hope and dream and set up our summoning circles every time for Bloodborne. I hope we get it eventually, but man, it is looking less and less likely as time goes by. But yes, to your point, Akeem, I do think as great as these advancements are for Horizon, and I love seeing Horizon getting the love because I love that franchise, it does feel a little bit too soon. Just a little bit too soon for me. Which, but to be fair, I don't remember if the Horizon franchise is still on for like their TV shows. I think they have like an animated show with Netflix, if I remember correctly. I can't remember if that one.
I believe that's still going on. I don't know if it's animated or live action. I think it might be. They're working on a series though.
It's supposed to be a prequel series, right?
I believe so. Yeah. So I know some of the Sony things got canceled or got pushed into development hell or whatever when it comes to making TV shows, movies, whatever. So I don't remember if that one is, but if that is coming around, could also make a really good case for them redoing this one and putting it out for the current audience, the current generation audience, just like they did with Last of Us and the Last of Us HBO show. So it does kind of line up and make a lot of sense.
Oh, and it turns out this just in, the Horizon Zero Dawn show is dead for now.
Yeah. Okay. So that one was. I couldn't remember if it was that one or another one. So who knows? But yeah, I think a lot of fans or a lot of newcomers to PS5 will enjoy this one and get a chance to play it in the best way possible.
Yeah, I think it's sort of a square peg round hole with the Lego situation. I've talked about this before. Like Aloy is not like a fun character. In fact, none of the characters in this world really are.
Nah, get out of here. She's so much fun. She tells you all those things she puts in her bag, and she's got to put things in her stash.
I just
she's
think
great.
It's okay. Like it's interesting to take this world and just make it into a Lego game. Like I get the 4K remasters or sequels or spinoffs or whatever. Like there was a leaked multiplayer Horizon game at some point in the last few years. Like they're very clearly like, hey, this is our big new franchise. We're going hard with it. We're going to do everything with it. And it, like you said, it sells well enough that it's like, it justifies all of that. But I don't know. I don't know if it all necessarily works for me. I bounced off the second game pretty early because it just didn't click the same way. And this Lego version, like, I guess, sure. Like it doesn't fit for me. If they can find a way to get kids into this franchise or kids into PlayStation, I've said that for years, like as a dad now, like that's important. And that and Astrobot are really good entry points. But I'm not saying like it's Horizon fatigue, but I'm also kind of like,
Okay, and enough with this for a little while.
It's funny, and I kind of see what you mean, Brian. Like, I feel like I don't know if the Lego treatment really fits like Horizon. Like, it would have been great if they did this maybe to like God of War, because that that juxtaposition like of this very like serious
I think I don't know what kid is. Right? I mean, if I was an adult, I'd be like, God of War for Lego God of War. I don't know if I want my kid to play that, but
it would probably have that quirky. It'll probably have the quirky tone that the lighthearted quirky tone that we're seeing right now with the that's what I'm assuming, because like it's Lego, like they have an IP to protect themselves as well, or a brand I should say, Lego. So I think it would still have the light
Horizon has never felt particularly dark or mature in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, there's death that happens, but like if I had a kid and they happened to play Horizon, I think I wouldn't really bat an eye. It's not like God of War where there's this hyper realistic violence. But to kind of echo what Brian's saying, I kind of agree. It feels like Sony is forcing Horizon down everyone's throat and say, hey, this is going to be the new popular kid. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It feels very in that same vein. But to play devil's advocate, I will say that the Burning Shores DLC for Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel, was a PS5 only expansion for the game, and I think the tech behind that expansion really showcases what the PS5 is capable of. So if they kind of transplant that technology, the volumetric cloud work and all that jazz into the original game, I could see that being as a justification for why this remaster should exist, because if nothing else, Forbidden West felt slightly compromised by the fact that it was released on both the PlayStation 4 and PS5. So the fact that we are finally getting a PS5 only version of a game that is a known quantity feels like it'll look nice if you like Horizon, but if you don't, well, too bad, you're getting one anyway.
I mean, so I will agree on the point of Sony trying to like really make fetch happen and put Horizon in everybody's hands. That's definitely what they've done. They bundled it with consoles for a while with the PS4. What I will say for the Lego portion, I think Horizon is, besides Ratchet and Clank, I think Horizon is the best franchise for them to do a Lego experience for. There's so many great creatures that they can build out of giant machines that are just great, look great as Legos and are great for destroying, and they come apart just like they do in the game. You're literally knocking off parts off of the different machines to craft and upgrade and do different things. So Horizon for me makes perfect sense with going in the Lego route, just because of how their monster and their enemy designs have been done since day one. So I think it definitely makes sense. I just think in a vacuum, if it was just on its own and it wasn't so close to these remasters, I think everybody would be a little bit nicer about it. But I do think it's all of it so soon all together is kind of hampering just enjoying it by just outright.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm warming up to Akeem's idea of Lego God of War. The game
Oh my goodness.
Let's
just go Lego Bloodborne.
Hold on.
Let's just get a Lego Bloodborne.
Kratos is in Fortnite, so stop trying to poo-poo this idea of there being a Lego God of War. Okay,
you know what Mimir works perfectly as a Lego head, so I get you.
He does.
Yes, thank you.
He does.
All right. Well, there were a lot of other games revealed. Let's move on. We're also going to check in with our audience as well. I believe Jada. We asked we polled the audience on our Facebook group, so we're gonna do that. But I want to talk about one game before we do that, and that is Hell Is Us. That's right. It's right there on your screen. Facebook.com/groups/podcast beyond. But Hell Is Us. Now, before we saw the one last thing, which was Ghost of Yote, Nick, you were saying that Hell Is Us was your game of the show. And just to kind of give people a refresher, this is a third-person action-adventure game combining like intense melee combat with the thrill of exploration.
And a bunch of horrible garbage and evil. I love it. Yeah, I love it.
I think great. Despite Ghosts of Yote being very exciting, I still think that this is my game of the show. This goes back to, and again, I keep harping on evoking old Sony, because I do think that's what made PlayStation as a brand like so special. Is it was this era of experimentation, and this is what it feels like. It is evoking a third-person action game. It just a really pulled back view, which is a little bit unusual. It's not that God of War perspective, and it just looks like a capital V video game in the best possible way that is going to push you to the limit. It's going to test your reflexes and just have really unique combat with a really cool setting that is kind of hard sci-fi with like an alien H.R. Geiger vibe. I'm really digging everything I'm seeing about this game, whether it be art direction, combat, technology, all of the above. This looks like a Nick Lamone video game, and I cannot wait to jump in.
I'm right there with you. This is evoking a lot of the weird old, just experimental PlayStation that I grew up playing, and all the horror designs and sci-fi designs are coming together and coalescing in ways that are singing to me. Like, this is exactly what I want when I play a video game. I wish the drone didn't look as much like a drone, but that's, I'm nitpicky. Everything else.
Wait a minute. Are you serious, Brian?
I mean, everything else
the
seems
drone
so
to look like.
Well, I don't know. Everything else looks so weird and inspired. I'm going to be just picky.
You got to find one thing, Brian. Jeez. You always got.
Brian would not make it long in Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. He would just not make it long.
No. I think that this should get a Lego game too, especially the overhead shot of all the bodies in the ditch. I think would go. You just fill that with minifigs. No, this looks awesome. I can't wait to play it. We didn't get a release date for it. This is from.
No, it's coming out in 2025. Yeah, we didn't get a firm release date.
Yeah. So we got a year. So I'll take that.
It's from developer Rogue Factor, which I'm looking them up right now, and it looks like they've only made two previous titles, Necromunda Underhive Wars and Mordheim City of the Dam, which are both games that feel like you wouldn't pay attention to them. So the fact that they are getting front placement in a state of play is truly saying something about what Sony sees in this game. And I think that this is going to be a breakout. This looks like a breakout title for this development team, and I'm very excited for them to finally get a chance to shine in the spotlight in that Sony spotlight.
Yeah, I love it. I'm all in.
Now, of course, I mentioned we got a few other games. I want to kind of just do round table, and then Jada, we're gonna check in with our audience. Brian, what were outside of Ghosts of Yotei and Hell Is Us? What were there any other games that kind of like stood out to you?
The Midnight Walk, which first of all, shocking amount of PSVR 2 stuff in the show today.
Yes,
Sony remembered. Sony remembered that they sold that
finally.
This game looks awesome. It's PS5 and PSVR 2 compatible, so you can play it in VR or flat, as the VR people like to call it. And it's very like sort of vintage Tim Burton-esque claymation. It reminds me of a Phil Tippett movie, Mad God, which came out a couple years ago. I don't know if you guys saw it. Yeah, it's awesome.
Crazy movie, yeah.
And he was one of the original puppeteers on Star Wars and creature designers. He designed the Rancor and a bunch of other awesome stuff. And he made this experimental stop motion film. Not to be confused with another stop motion film called Stop Motion, which just came out this year as well. Another horror movie. It's on Shudder. You can check those out there. That's like a very specific art style, and it's very hard to get right in a video game, just because of the way the sort of frames skip around. But I really love what they're doing here. Like, this is a very, very beautiful, unique looking video game. It didn't look like anything else I've seen this year or anything else in the showcase, in terms of games wise. Like, I don't know, how deep the gameplay is going to be, if this is just going to be sort of like a visual feast for the senses, or if it'll get deep. It just looks like you're this little guy with a lantern head and you go around trying not to die. But I'm into it. I'm very into it.
It's from the team that did Lost in Random, which had a decent amount of combat and was a very solid game. So I'm very excited to see what lessons they kind of learned from this to expand into the Midnight Walk. And then I think it's going to be real cool in VR. I think this is going to be one of those like must play VR experiences, or must play this game in VR over just playing it standard. I think it's going to really benefit from having that VR2 headset. I know that's not going to be the way most people play it, because obviously it's a $600 hat that Sony is barely acknowledging. I really enjoy my PSVR 2, but I'm happy that we finally got more stuff like this the fact that we're getting Hitman, World of Assassination is coming to PSVR 2. What else did we have?
Metro Awakening.
Metro Awakening, which is going to be another one that's just going to be fantastic VR2 experience. So like, thank you, Sony, for giving us some VR2 stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so how about for you, Jada? What was one of the highlights?
Oh, I mean, my game of the show is Monster Hunter Wilds.
Okay.
Like, hands down, I've been waiting for that game. If anybody who's watched any of our state of plays or Sony showcases in the last 6 months to a year since they announced Monster Hunter Wilds, it's all I've been talking about. And this trailer just was fantastic. The setting, the lighting, the cinematography, the action, just how much bigger and larger than life this feels than World was. Just everything. Looks like they're actually putting a lot more care into the story, and we're going to have like a bigger, deeper story, hopefully. Knock on wood, fingers crossed, because I love my Monster Hunter. The stories are a little bit on the light end, which is fine, because the core gameplay loop about that game is eat, hunt, sleep, repeat. And not a lot of room for story in that. But it looks like they're doing big things with this one, and all the attention they've been showing it and taking it to all these different trade shows so more people can play it. Like, that shows me they're very confident in everything that's going on with this franchise. It's one of Capcom's best-selling franchise. I think World is still their best-selling game of all time now. I'd have to double-check those numbers, but at one point it was. But yeah, I cannot wait for Monster Hunter Wilds. This game is going to be fantastic, and man, 2025 is going to be a banger of a year for game releases already, between this Ghost of Yotei and potentially GTA 6.
Potentially GTA 6?
We don't know.
Rockstar,
you know how secretive Rockstar is with their stuff. They'll have it out when it's out, when they're ready.
But it's coming out next year, 100%. All right, 100% is coming out. Right.
According to Akeem's diary.
Akeem's timetables. I love it.
No, it's coming out next year. But y'all already know what I was excited to see. And it was a DLC for Sonic X Shadow Generations. Of course, Keanu Reeves. He's going to be voicing. I mean, this isn't even a surprise, but he's going to be voicing Shadow, obviously, in the upcoming movie. But he's also going to be voicing him in the video game for the DLC, which that's included in the digital deluxe edition. We also get his skin from the movie. Like, look, he's all fuzzy, and I'm excited for this. I'm super excited for this. The movie comes out December 20th. I don't know if this is coming out day one when the game drops.
December 12th for the
December 12th
Keanu
for
pack.
this. Yeah, because I mean, obviously, I'm assuming there might be some movie spoilers in there. But no, I'm super excited for this. Also, very smart move from Sega doing this. They timed things very perfectly with this particular release. Obviously, the movie coming out in December, and then this coming out. Sonic is always a moneymaker for Sega. Sonic was always good. He was never bad, and he's going to continue to be good, especially moving on to 2025. We just got that Sonic Central. I forced Brian to watch it, and he nodded his head. Yes, he enjoyed it when I asked him if he did.
Yeah, I know. Are we remastering the debate we had about this?
Just changing the history books.
They'll remake anything these days. No, this is definitely very cool, and I'm happy for you, Akeem. This is what you've always dreamed of.
It is.
It's one of the smartest bits of marketing I think I've seen in a video game in a long time, of actually relying on a movie release that coincides with the release of a game. That used to happen a whole lot more, and it doesn't really happen anymore. So thankfully, this is the first time since Sonic Mania where I'm like, man, I should give this Sonic game a chance.
Yep.
So
to be fair to your point, Nick, back when we used to get licensed games based on movies, that's when the licensed games were absolutely terrible 9 times out of 10. They were just so bad. So it's good that they're coming back, and it's good that they're pairing it with something that's basically already been done, because this is a remaster with more content, with new content added to it. So it makes sense for them to tie it in and use the kind of movie license features with Keanu voicing it. So, but we'll see if we see more of those coming, and if we repeat the past of bad licensed games.
I was going to
Hopefully
make a
not.
joke about how the Sonic games are terrible 9 times out of 10, but I'm going to save Akeem. I'm going to keep him happy. No, I'm
I want to
kidding.
hear. Brian, please say what you were going to say about.
No, we're good. We're good. No, I'm excited for you. I'm happy for you. I think it's awesome that Keanu Reeves keeps popping up in video games. Like that's very awesome to me.
Yeah.
He seems like he's like an old school video game nerd who just grew up playing them. He was like a pivotal part of Cyberpunk and the DLC, and it's been really cool to see him show up in games where you wouldn't expect him to. Like there was definitely a little disconnect there when he started talking as the video game character. I'm like, I don't know if that totally works, but I'm into it. I like the idea of it.
Also, I just love his vocal versatility. Every single character he plays in a video game sounds drastically different from the other. But you know what? Let's check in with our Facebook group. Jada, you put out a question to our Facebook group. Obviously, they were just as excited as we were for today's state of play. What was the question that we posed to our group?
So we put up originally like what you were hoping to see out of the state of play. But I went ahead and posted another one during the show of what was your favorite thing from the state of play. Okay. And let's see what we've got so far. So Lunar Remastered Collection from Ted Darius, or Darius.
Good choice,
if I got that right. Never got around to playing the first game as a kid, as it originally came out to the Sega CD, but I had the TurboGrafx CD and wasn't going to shell out a ton more money for a second CD attachment. Big fan of old JRPGs, so I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, Sega CD was a mess, y'all. For those who are too young to understand the Sega CD, that was a mess of a console. It was great, very good, but very much a mess with all the stuff you needed. Let's see, Stephen A. Daw. Ghost of Yote, do we think Ghost of Yote is a full sequel or like a smaller game like Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man, Miles Morales? Oh no, this is a full sequel.
Yeah,
hands down.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a full sequel.
It's a larger landmass, just period. You are in Japan as opposed to a small island.
If they reuse some trees or leaves or rocks, I don't care. That's fine. Do it. Whatever
They're going to reuse. What about the horse, Brian? What if they reuse the horse?
Bring that horse back. Give him some new hair. Or
give me my pre-order horse back.
My pre-order horse
I want
back.
that pre-order horse.
And then let's see, I got one more. Devlon Douglas, all the Hitman games for PSVR 2, Metro Awakening VR getting a release date, shockingly even earlier than the Behemoth, which we didn't see today, which is kind of interesting. Midnight Walk getting PSVR 2 support. Was thinking the whole time the art style would be terrifying in VR. I agree. But yeah, lots of VR stuff being showed off. So like I'm very happy because we get a lot of criticism on the show because we're very critical on Sony and their PSVR 2 and how they've been releasing games and how they've just been handling it since launch. And so I'm happy that we're starting to get these things and showcase these things the way they deserve to be showcased for this $600 peripheral that Sony convinced people to invest in. So I'm very happy that we're starting to see these more mainstream, bigger things. Like PSVR 2 has been launching a bunch of titles throughout the year, but they've been, for the most part, smaller things. And so it's nice to have these examples front and center finally.
And larger experiences, because I do think VR really shines in the intricacy of your hand movements. Like Half-Life Alyx is so impressive because of all the minute details you can manipulate with your hands. And I think that the Metro universe is perfect for that because there's so much nuance in how you approach a given situation in any of the Metro games that feels right at home in VR, whether it be checking how much ammo is left in your clip because your ammo is also your currency, or as we see in Hitman, you could strangle someone from behind or poison somebody's coffee. It just seems like developers are starting to see, hey, let's just get nitty gritty with VR because that's really what makes it such an impressive medium as a whole. So I'm very excited for people to get wild in PSVR 2.
Yeah, Hitman looks fantastic. Cannot wait for that one.
Yeah, those Hitman games are incredible. And if you somehow haven't played them and you have a PSVR 2, like I obviously haven't played this version yet, but I can't imagine it not translating well because those games are a perfect combination of violence and comedy, and you get some very, very silly results playing games like this in VR, especially if you're just going to be smacking people around or stabbing them in the back or throwing them over a balcony, and you can do all that with motion controls in VR. Dude, you're gonna have a blast.
I'm gonna have so much fun backstabbing people in this game. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna have to get video footage for you guys.
No, please do. Both gameplay and of you just IRL playing, because I want to see how goofy you look swinging just at the air. But no, this was a great showing for the PSVR 2. I'm so happy that we got some more releases coming, so I can dust the dust off of my my PSVR 2. But just want to shout out our Facebook group again. So thank you so much, everyone that submitted their responses to Jada's question. That's facebook.com/groups/podcast beyond. Become a member. We do these things all. We try to do these. We're going to try to do these every single week for you all and showcase your responses during the show. Now, the first question, the initial question that you asked Jada, was was there anything missing? Or what do you want to see from the state of play? So I'm going to ask the question to you all. Was there anything that you think was missing from the state of play that you wish you had seen or that PlayStation had shown off? Brian, I'll start with you.
I feel like we needed to see The Last of Us Part 1 remastered Part 2 again.
I was thinking the same.
Definitely.
I think we need a PS5 Pro patch for that. The PS4 version did get a Pro patch, so I'm kind of disappointed.
I want them to be like bundled together, so like literally when you finish one, it just rolls right into 2. That's what we needed.
Yep.
That's
no
exactly
one's ever
what we
played that
needed.
game before in any of its iterations. They didn't watch the game unfold as a TV show without even having to reach for a controller. So I'm pretty let down actually with Sony today and Naughty Dog. No. I mean, it's for me, it's the same owner as always. It's Bloodborne. I just want something from that world. I just want playing Astrobot as a Bloodborne hunter the entire time was awesome, especially like the spooky levels, because I was like, someone at this company remembers that people love this character, and it gave me a glimmer of hope, and I'm not going to let that hope die.
Well,
even though it died today.
Right.
That was I will say, I've been watching chat the whole live stream, and Bloodborne is by far the number one that anybody that they've been spamming in chat.
Take a shot every time you see Bloodborne mentioned.
Oh, do not do that. Do not do that. We are not held liable. That will take a shot of water. Take a shot of water.
Listen,
water is great for you.
Everyone listening, everyone commenting. If they ever actually do make this thing, we all have to buy like 2 or 3 copies each. Like we have to really, we can't just be loud in the chat. We got to be loud in the stores
with your wallet,
PSN and the wallet.
The wallets, yeah.
I need to see TikToks. I need to see TikToks of everybody.
You guys got to get the
copies.
Collector's edition, whatever the premium, $300.
Whatever
I want the
it is.
PS5 Pro Bloodborne edition.
Yep, sacrificing.
Buy the art books in multiple languages. All that. Do it. You support.
Yep.
Support your local hunters.
Buy a little bag of pig blood and spill it to show your.
Ew.
I don't know if I'll get any money from that.
I don't want to figure out where you can buy pig blood. But Jada, what did you want to see that you didn't?
So I don't know if it's that I wanted to see, but one that I was very much expecting to see: Wolverine.
I was going to say that. Yes,
Wolverine is a big one. It's been announced. We've been waiting for it. We got Deadpool and Wolverine this year. We got X-Men 97 this year.
Yeah.
I feel like it's never been a better time to start promoting Wolverine than right now. But, obviously Insomniac had the hack and the leaks and all that type of stuff, and that has probably complicated things. So I'm not surprised we didn't see it, but I would have really loved to see a little bit more than just Logan sitting at that bar
100%.
waiting for whoever to come in and greet him. Who knows?
And funny thing, I was actually thinking when Cerny came out and said, we're going to show off some more games that we haven't shown off yet. I was hoping to see just a slither of Wolverine gameplay.
Yeah.
I was thinking this would be a great way to drop it. We did, like you said, we got unfortunately, we got extensive gameplay footage leaks and cinematics as well. This would have been a great, just like give us like a 3-second slither of, we don't need a release date. I just want to see it, even though I'm not gonna lie, I did see
show
it.
me that it still exists.
Just a little
exactly
peek, please.
Yeah, but how about for you, Nick?
For me, it was 2 things. One, the easy layup was Spider-Man 2 DLC. That felt like a given. I know that there's a lot of speculation. Won't dive into the how verifiable any of them are, but like Venom DLC for Spider-Man 2 feels like a where is it at? Come on. Like Insomniac, for being as prolific as they are with, you know, game after game for the PlayStation. I'm just, again, take your time. I'm not trying to rush you, Insomniac.
Yeah.
Everything you put out for PlayStation is cooking. I love it. I'll eat it up with a big spoon, but just a little surprised that we didn't get Spider-Man 2 DLC. That's the big one. And I think the other one is seeing whatever Sony Bend is working on, because they've been kind of radio silent for a long time. Days Gone, I thought we might see a remaster given all the rumors, but no, it doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon. So Sony Bend, again, not trying to rush you, but just curious, what are you guys cooking over there?
You know, Sony has a history, or Sony Studios have a real good history of supporting each other, and I do wonder if today they were all kind of like, hey, this is Sucker Punch's day. Like, let's give them that. Let's give them that big focus, because a lot of the other stuff was kind of smaller studios from Sony and updates from things we already know exist and third-party games. And I think like their one more thing being the, you know, Ghost of Yotai. I think that was maybe them just being like, hey, you have this moment. You take this.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I'm assuming they wouldn't want to cannibalize all of their giant, you know, unveils, because, you know, as even though a lot of the Sony first party titles do feel thematically similar, they all are, you know, gargantuan blockbuster games. So it really does feel like they all want to kind of get out of the way of each other in order for it to kind of really make the impact that Sony's hoping for. So I get it, but still, I'm greedy. I want more.
I'm right there with you. I'm extremely greedy. I'm so greedy. I was hoping to see some Resident Evil 9.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that. Didn't even get a remake, or, you know, like like RE5, Code Veronica, nothing like that. But I feel like if we did get a reveal like that, that might have, you know, much to Nick's point, you know, like I feel like I don't know, it might have like overshadowed like what the one last thing that we got, you know, Ghost of Yotai. Like if we got a, you know, RE9 announcement, or even like one of the, like a remake, I don't know. I think a lot of people would have been more excited for that than Ghost of Yotai, just because of the you know, the legacy, the long legacy of Resident Evil. I don't know. I want to see what's going on with the Winters family, you know? Like,
I have to think that they're keeping Resident Evil 9 for a Capcom presentation. We've got TGS this weekend, so I wouldn't put it past Capcom to hold that onto that for themselves. Then again, we did get that first RE4 remake during a PlayStation State of Play, 2022, I want to say. So it's not uncommon for Capcom to put their big guns on Sony. But I think with TGS, I think around the corner, I think it makes more sense for it to get announced there.
Now, are we thinking? Are we thinking we might get like either a remake announcement or an official sequel announcement? What are we thinking?
I think 9 is up next. I think at least the last few years they've gone remake, new game, and you know, the remakes have been the really good looking recreations of their old third person games, and the new games have been first person. I'll take it all. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. I'm ecstatic to see what they do next. They did Resident Evil 4 Justice. That's one of my favorite games of all time, and the fact that they crushed it makes me just go, sure, cook whatever you want to cook. I'm in.
Yep. Whatever next. You got me. You got me at least for one next game, like 100% in on your next game.
I'm kind of curious about RE9. Like if it is continuing the story of Ethan Winter's daughter, whose name I can't remember right now. I have a suspicion that it's going to kind of tonally change the direction of Resident Evil moving forward, because, you know, as we all know, because we all played that Resident Evil Village DLC about starring the daughter, she's like a psychic. So it's gonna feel very much like Control, but from a Resident Evil perspective. So I'm curious how they can kind of maintain Resident Evil's like artistic and creative vision while being side by side with something like Jesse Faden's control.
I
like,
don't
Remedy's control.
Yeah, Nick, I don't want that at all. I just want I want like a dumb cop to come in.
But
and
that's
be like,
what the
"Oh,
character
what's going
is.
on?" I know, but like
that's what she is.
I know, but I just want them to be like, okay, we did her story in that DLC. It's done. The Winters family is we're gonna put them away. Maybe there'll be a note in a desk somewhere in Resident Evil 9. Give me Leon or Chris or Jill or anyone else who just walks in there like, huh? I don't get it. What's happening here? This has only been happening for 30 years of my adult life, and it keeps happening every year, but still.
Brian, I love what they've been doing though with the OG cast. They just pop up like, hey,
yeah,
what's up?
great.
It's me.
Great. Yeah,
Chris.
I don't want a psychic in
I get that. I get that.
Technically, Jill Valentine is immortal, and she will always look the same because she is infected with whatever G or T virus. So I guess in theory, she could always come back whenever.
Yeah, and that was in RE5, right? Where she
correct.
She was there was an evil Jill. I barely remember that game, but I did enjoy it. All right, so let's. I think we're running short on time, so I wanna do the tried and true thing that we tend to always do at the end of these special episodes, and from on the patented IGN scale of 1 to 10, what do we rate this state of play?
They get so mad at us when we do this. They're gonna do it. We're doing it right now. Okay. Man, do I have to go first?
Chat, let us know what you think as well. For those who can hear
drop
us
your
live.
numbers in the chat.
You love
chat,
everything.
Tell us what you think. What this was. I love everything. I do not love everything. Also, we didn't get Kingdom Hearts 4 today, which is sad. I was hoping for that one. I know. We're running low on time. I'm gonna pick a random number that I see in chat, and look, there's a couple sevens, so looks like we're giving it a 7 out of 10. It was a good showcase, is the numbers I saw when I was looking at chat after asking. Thank you, chat. You have chosen that it is a 7. That is the number you guys have to live with now.
Yeah, I'm looking at 0, 2, 2, 3. And
why would you give it a 0?
I don't know.
There's no way the showcase could be a 0. We got so many good games out of this.
Quick shout out to that Stellar Blade near crossover, because that looks rad.
Yeah.
I will say 7 also. 8 closer to 8 because of Ghost of Yote. Like that is one of my favorite video game announcements of the year. I'm very excited for that game. Everything else is just icing on the cake.
How about you, Nick?
As for me, I'm going to give it a 6 overall. I mean, I was pretty happy with what I saw. Hell Is Us looks outstanding. Ghost of Yote looks cool. But for me, no Kingdom Hearts 4, tragic. No Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 3 or whatever. Again, I'm being unfair here.
There's no way we're getting that today.
I also feel like compared to a lot of other competing companies who, whenever they have presentations, there just feels like an avalanche of JRPGs that I'm getting everywhere except PlayStation. So sadly, not quite a presentation for me.
Well, don't worry, I'll make up for it because your boy ate his Frosted Flakes this morning. I'm giving it an 8. This was great. I loved it. Yeah, you didn't have the Kingdom Hearts, but that's totally cool, man. Y'all made up for it in other ways. And some of the new games that you showcase, and the PSVR 2, y'all didn't forget about that. That, as Jada calls it, a fanciful magical hat. What'd you call it? You called it whatever you called it.
It's a wonderful $600 hat.
It keeps getting more expensive every time.
I know, 700. Damn. Okay, well, you know what? That's all the time we have. This was, I would say great overall. I want to thank Brian and Jada and Nick for joining me on breaking down this state of play. And on that note, Beyond.
Beyond.
Still no Bloodborne.